Hello my loves, I'm Miss MonMon. Welcome to my channel. Today, to continue our spooky festivities, I thought we would do a really simple, quick, easy and fun tutorial, which is how to make velvet pumpkins. These velvet pumpkins. Now, velvet pumpkins aren't an original idea. They've been around for quite a while and they come in and out of the Halloween decoration sections every few years. But personally, I just think because they're so customizable to your space and your home, they just make it for a really fun tutorial. So let's get started and have a look at what we need. The first thing you're going to need is a brew of your choice. Of course, you are going to need velvet. I got this from my local Spotlight when it was on sale 3 years ago. Yes, that's how long I've been wanting to make this project. You will need some polyfill or teddy bear stuffing. This stuff isn't the greatest for an environment, so I also have some sewing scraps that I have been saving up to use. Your pumpkin will need a stem of your choice. I got these plastic pumpkin stems off eBay 2 years ago, and you can still get them. I will link them in my blog, so you can find that in the description box below. I would also recommend having a cutting mat and a pair of scissors or rotary blades, anything that you prefer to cut your pumpkins out of. And you will also need a needle and thread. The first thing we do is put our cutting mat on the floor and choose our velvet. I put the velvet wrong face up so that way I don't worry about damaging the velvet itself. Now you need to run around your entire house and find anything that is round. I ended up using the lid off my French oven. Place your circular object on your fabric and grab either your scissors or your rotary cutter and start cutting around. When you have your circle of velvet cut out, grab your needle and thread your thread through your needle, and then we're going to do a running stitch all the way around the edge of your velvet circle. A running stitch is basically poking your needle in and out of your fabric in almost like a weaving motion. So when you go all the way around and you pull it, you can create almost like a drawstring. This stitch isn't very good at securing two pieces of fabric together, but it is fantastic for gathering. It can take a couple of minutes to work your way around. Take your time, put on a movie or a good soundtrack. I was totally rocking out to the Rocky Horror Picture Show soundtrack when making these, and that was a lot of fun. When you have gathered the outside of your velvet circle, you can pull it together and create almost like this drawstring pouch. The next thing we're going to do is stuff our pumpkins with polyfill. Fill your pumpkin with the polyfill and then pull the drawstring together to seal up. You need to tie it off twice. An extra pair of hands comes in really handy. I got my husband to keep his finger as I was tying the knot on the thread. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, and sometimes it failed miserably because the thread snapped. Before you tie your pumpkin off, I'm going to jump in and say, make sure you have plenty of extra thread, because we are now going to make the bulbs of the pumpkin. After you've tied off your pumpkin gathers securely, you are then going to grab both sides of your thread, or both pieces. You are then going to grab both pieces of your thread and pull it down and underneath the pumpkin, twist them, and then go in an opposite direction back to the top, twist again, and then come back to the bottom. You will be surprised at how much thread this takes up. Originally, I thought I was going to do 8 little girthy bulby sections, but I ended up making all of mine with 6 because I was running out of thread. You will sort of figure it out as you go. When you're happy with that, tie it off. If you need someone to pop their finger on the thread, ask somebody. When your pumpkin's bulbs are complete and happy, the last thing you need to do is pop a stem into the top gathers. You can use some hot glue just to seal it, but my stems have a rather ribbed edge, and that sort of latches onto anything inside the pumpkin. And you're done. What do you all think? Good pumpkin? Oh, very good pumpkin. Aww. You want me to put one in your bed so you can get all festive? You just want it full of treats. These pumpkins, once you get going, really don't take a lot of time. They are completely customizable to suit you and your decorative preferences. You can get some hot glue and dribble it across the top and then cover it in glitter. You can add dried leaves and vines. You can make a whole bunch of them and turn them into a wreath or a decorative display. I ended up just making 4 just because I was running out of time, but I can definitely see myself, bye Brian, later on in the month making a couple more. And that is it. That is how we make our velvet pumpkins. If you add a little bit of extra, other things you can do with this tutorial is add a little bit of extra stuffing, and you can use it as a pumpkin pin cushion, or make them really big and use them as an actual decorative cushion. You can just really have fun with it. A little part of me wants to make tiny ones again and then make a little garland out of them, but that might be something we do next year. And that is the end of this tutorial. I'm going to use my pumpkins to decorate this area, but if there is time during the month, I might make a couple extras for my sewing room. But I am really happy to be back and making fun things with you guys, and please tag me in anything that you make that was inspired by any of my videos. I love seeing it. It actually genuinely brings me so much joy. I will have links to all the materials I have used in the description box below, so please go to my blog and find that. It's all listed there, and it's just a lot easier for me to keep it there. That is all I have time for you guys today, but I hope you're having a wonderful spooky season. I will be back next week with a brand new video, but of course check out my blog as I do post there on Mondays and Fridays. And if you'd like, please also follow me on any of my social media. I am a lot more active on my Instagram and always sharing little things there if you'd like to keep up with any of my vintage adventures. Thank you guys so much for your support in the last year, especially the last couple of months. Your messages have really helped me get through some not so great days. I am looking forward to seeing you guys all next week, but until then, be kind, be true, be you, and have a fantastically spooky week. Bye! The pumpkin's ring hole. I'm really just going to call it a ring hole. The gathered edge together. Let's try and keep this PG, kids.